I'm going to record it to the cloud. Okay.
Okay, so let me tell you something in Spanish. Este es un espacio que es posible gracias a un esfuerzo mancomunado de la Escuela de Idiomas con el programa PIFLE, Programa Institucional de Fomento o Formación en Lengua Extranjera, de la sección inglés y de la Oficina de Relaciones Internacionales. Tenemos aquí al docente Alexander Cardoso Gil. Él nos va a acompañar en este espacio y es el docente de apoyo desde desde la Oficina de Relaciones Internacionales. Muchas gracias, profe, y ya lo dejo entonces con los asistentes, que son muchos. Creo que tienes una gran acogida, porque por lo general no son tantos los asistentes a los conversatorios en otras lenguas. Muy bien, profe, muchas gracias.
Thank you very much, teacher Doris. I think it's maybe because of the topic, I hope. I mean, it's a really interesting topic. So we're going to begin. Thank you very much. Guys, first of all, let's say then, my name is Alexander Cardoso. I'm a teacher at Universidad de Antioquia, just as Professor Doris said. And I also work for the Office of International Affairs. And today we are going to be talking about this topic that I think is really interesting. Before I start, remember, we are going to be talking about these monthly. So each month, we're going to have a different topic related to this one, which is, could be global citizenship or intercultural competencies, okay? So let's begin. I'm just going to go on to the next slide. Let me just, yes. I want to begin by getting to know you, because that's really important to know who are you, who am I going to be communicating with. And I would like to know if any of you would like to start introducing yourself using the questions I have on the screen. But for that, I would like you to raise your hand virtually. Remember, you can raise your hand if you want to introduce yourself. And once you raise your hand, I'm going to give you the word so you can tell us, who are you? How are you today? How are you feeling? Where do you live? What's your name? Where are you from? And similar. So who would like to start? Let me see. We have a hand here. Just gonna see.
Do you want me to help you with the
Yes,
because
because I cannot see.
Okay, I'll do it. We had, Karen, didn't you raise your hand?
Yes, I wanted to say hi to everyone and see a little bit what I'm doing. I am a French, half Colombian. I study in the French school. Then I went to the University of Virginia when I graduated from economics, and I started speaking English there. And then I went to China and spoke Chinese. So I like to teach other people Chinese. And when I came back from China, I decided to study Italian. And I speak really well, and I love languages, and I keep on I love finding friends all over the world.
That's amazing, Karen. So, and do you travel around the world constantly?
Yes, I travel to the United States and to China primarily. To Europe, it has been sometimes that I haven't been, but I have been also to Europe because I have family in France and I have friends in Italy.
Okay, that's very nice. Thank you for sharing that.
Thanks.
Who else would like to tell us, guys? Who else would like to tell us something about yourself?
I don't see anybody else. I don't know.
Remember to raise your hand. Okay, Rudy.
How are you today?
Hello, I'm
very
good.
Well. What's your name? My name is Miriam. Where do you lie? I lie in Bello. Where are you from? I'm from Medellin. How old are you? 53 old years. What do you do for a living?
That means if you work or if you study.
Yes. What do you do for a living? I am 4 years. What do you like to do in your free time? I enjoy language.
Very good. Thank you very much, Rudy, for sharing that. Guys,
Margie.
Remember.
Oh, sorry.
Margie.
Sorry, I'm Rudy.
My name is Miriam.
Sorry, it's just that I saw the hand at the beginning as I thought it was Rudy. Margie.
No, that happens all the time at the phone.
Yeah. Okay, who's next? Margie?
Okay, thank you.
Okay, hello everyone, my name is Margie. Where do I live? Okay, right now I am living in Italy because I am a master's student, but I am from Colombia. I'm 28 years old. As I said before, I am a master's student. What do you like to do in your free time? Okay, the thing that I enjoy the most is hanging out with my friends. And also I am really passionate about languages. So I usually use my free time to learn languages. And in this moment, I am learning Italian.
Yeah, sorry, how many languages are you learning right now?
Right now, Italian, but I also can speak English and German.
That's very nice. That's very nice. Yes, Teacher Doris, can you tell me who will be the next one?
Pedro Amaya.
Hi, everyone. I'm Pedro Amaya. I'm doing fine today. Thanks for asking, by the way. I live here in Medellin, in Robledo, but I'm from La Guajira, a department in the north of Colombia. I am 28 years old. I study biotechnology in the Universidad Colegio Mayor de Antioquia. I like playing squash in my free time. And also I'm passionate about languages. I speak in English and also I like French.
That's very nice. I think we can go with one more person and then keep on going with the topics.
Okay, maybe Rudy, because he had his hand raised before.
How are you guys? I'm Rudy Solake. I'm mechanical engineer from the Universidad de Antioquia. I'm living here in Medellin. Actually, I'm enjoying this time of the life because I start a new stage of my life and I can have these spaces. I can share with you all this time, and I'm so grateful because of that, because you are not those spaces.
Yeah, amazing you are here. Amazing you're all here, guys. Thank you for that.
Teacher, I can do my introduction.
Okay, one last more and then we keep on going, okay? Yeah.
Okay. Hello, I am Alex Martinez. Today I'm very well. For living, I am a graphic designer. I have my own brand. I am a student of business manager in the Universidad de Antioquia. I am 31 years old. In my free time, I like to study English and learn another language. Yes.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you very
much for that information. Guys, before we start, then I wanted to say, why did I choose this topic? And I'm pretty sure it's not a secret. You all know that today, with the globalization and all of the changes we are living in our world nowadays, because of the internet and the connections we have every day, we now can have the opportunity to get to know other cultures, other people, even if they are in the other parts of the world. So that's the reason I thought it would be really nice to start studying about these topics, and also because I have been studying these topics and talking about it thanks to the Office of International Affairs. So, and I would like you to know the importance of this and also share the opinions and what you have to say about it, because we can all learn all together. Before starting, I would like to share one really brief video about the topic, and I'm just going to share this. So you can hear it, you can listen to it. Let me just see if I can share. Please confirm you can hear. Can you hear?
Cultural awareness may sound more complicated.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
we can hear you.
The volume is a little low.
Cultural awareness.
Maybe I'm going to share again just to make
But
sure.
are you going to show us the video? Because we're still seeing your presentation.
Yes, yes, I'm going to share
Okay.
the sound. I need to share again. Just let me share sound, and I'm going to the video. Yes. Are you seeing the video right now?
Yes, yes.
Yes. So guys, this is a video made by Testo. This is not an advertisement. It's just that I think what they say here is really important, and I wanted to share it with you, okay?
May sound more complicated than it actually is. Let's follow Tim and have a look at what it means. If you went backpacking around the world, you would find that people behave in very different ways. Let's take a simple thing like greeting somebody. In different cultures, it can look like this, or even this. Now, the beautiful thing about our international Testo community is you get to meet people from all over the world. It also means that you have to team up with them for global success in order to avoid misunderstandings and to work together effectively. That can be tricky because different cultures have different perspectives on things. When it comes to time, for example, or to personal space. Sometimes intercultural communication can be confusing. And even simple things like dining habits may need getting used to. So how do we gain intercultural awareness? By exchanging our different points of view and working on it together as one big community. And these 10 bullet points will help us in intercultural situations. Be open to new encounters and curious for new experiences. Don't be afraid. Be vigilant and observe so you won't make a faux pas. And, of course, respect foreign customs, rituals and culture. Be patient, and in case somebody does not behave how you expect, don't take it personally. Be kind-hearted. Share your own customs and culture with others. And finally, share your intercultural experience with colleagues and friends. That's the way to cultivate intercultural awareness at Testo.
Okay, and I would like guys to ask you, after watching this video, after watching this video, what do you think, or what comes to your mind when you read the term intercultural competence? What do you think that could be? Anybody? Yes, Pedro?
But Pedro, or maybe Sebastian, right? Because Pedro
Okay.
had his hand raised before. So
Okay, thank you.
Sebastian Rey.
Okay. Hello. I think
Hello.
it's have knowledge about different cultures, and in order to like the video says, avoid misunderstandings or something like can be like used as a, I don't know, something like disrespectful for somebody or for someone. So something like that, like have knowledge about another cultures, and also that your culture is not like the unique in all the world.
I think he's having connection problems.
Yeah.
Keep in mind that.
Okay.
Eliana also raised her hand.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Eliana Ocampo. It's nice to see again all these people here. It's very crowded. It comes to my mind intercultural competence as a tool of being open in front of different cultures, because maybe sometimes I can go to a country where I don't know anything about it, but I can be open to learn, and I can be open to admit that the difference is going to be something big and good for me, and I have to respect it no matter how it is.
Yeah, it's true. That openness is really important, and we actually are going to talk about it a little bit later. Thank you. One last person, please.
Karen Lemoine.
I think intercultural competence is the way that we adapt to different cultures. Just like not say, no, I don't understand, just try to new languages, because you can understand any kind of person, any kind of situation in the world. So go to different countries, speak their own languages, and understand people that usually have different beliefs or different thoughts than you.
That's very true. Thank you very much, Karen.
Thank you.
Okay, and today, guys, I have this. I wanted to bring this.
Sorry, there are 2 comments on the chat.
Yeah.
I think it's more like understand that your culture is not the only valid. Every culture is important. It's from HP. And okay, that's all.
Okay, so I have this, I brought this definition because I thought that it was kind of simple and understandable. And I think it was nice for this space. So I would like somebody who could help me read this quote we have here. Who could help us?
What is intercultural competence?
Yeah, the ability.
It's the ability to communicate and behave in appropriate ways with those who are culturally different, and to co-create shared spaces, teams, and organizations that are inclusive, effective, innovative, and satisfying.
Exactly. So it basically will be what you just said, guys, just appreciating diversity, appreciating other cultures, creating spaces for the dialogue, to build together, to work in teams. All of these are aspects of the intercultural competence that can help us at the end of the day to build a society that is more peaceful, could be, okay? And that's why it's important nowadays to have this intercultural competence, not just for personal purposes, but also for your jobs. And we're going to see that right now. Let me just go to the next slide. Why is intercultural competence important in the workplace? And you can read it, but I also can tell you that nowadays is really important because, as I said before, companies want to go higher, want to progress. And in order to do that, they need to reach other places in the world to have like a bigger a sphere where they can act. And that's why they need people to work for them who understand all of these competences and who have these competences also. People who are skilled, people who are flexible, that means they adapt to changes, and also people who can adjust, and also people who are sensible, okay? So I would say it's really important nowadays in the workplace, and you're going to notice it. If you already are working, you should have noticed it by now. If not, you're going to do it later. So now I want us to take a look at this video. It's a video that talks about 4 of the competences this doctor here, she thinks these are the 4 competences we should take into account nowadays. And I'm going to just show you this video. But before sharing the video, I want to tell you that I would like you to focus on 3 things, and are the questions you see on the screen. First one, what are the 4 competences she highlights? Second, is everything we find online credible nowadays? And third, what do you think about the video? Do you agree or not? Because it could be that you could not agree, and you will be okay also, okay? So I'm just going to share. Let me just do it. Again, yes. So here we go.
Why are you so passionate about education?
Well, because first of all, it saved me. It empowered me. I grew up in, I guess, what would be considered poverty today. And at the age of 10, I decided that the only way to get out of this situation was through education. It's the key to being empowered because...
Why are you so passionate about education?
Well, because first of all, it saved me. It empowered me. I grew up in, I guess, what would be considered poverty today. And at the age of 10, I decided that the only way to get out of this situation was through education. It's the key to being empowered because you learn things that can help you lead a better life. So my goal is to help everybody have this opportunity. I mean, I have hundreds, maybe thousands of very successful students. I mean, really successful. And my theory is that they became successful because they feel empowered. They feel that they can do whatever it is they want to do.
What is it that concretely you do in your classroom that you feel empowers students to later on live more fulfilling and productive lives?
There's basically 4 main things. Number 1 is I teach communication. Students need to be able to communicate. If you know how to communicate well in high school, trust me, you can communicate well in college and in real life. Journalism should be incorporated into the curriculum all schools worldwide. Journalism is part of the 21st century. This is the century of media. To ignore it is like ignoring the advent of the automobile at the beginning of the 20th century. Journalism is communication, and communication is the key to everything. I would like to see every kid in the United States, or the world actually, have media literacy training so that they would be able to understand what is a reliable source and what sources should you be suspicious of. I think in the past, 20 years ago, anything that was printed was credible. That's one of the problems. Today we have to say anything that's online is suspicious. The second thing is collaboration. You want to teach kids to work together in teams, and you have to work with everybody because they're all part of life. They're all going to be there. You think these people are going to disappear? They're going to graduate with you. They're there forever. Then critical thinking. And how do I teach critical thinking? They have to go out and collect information. You get primary sources. You find out what's going on in the world, right? You collect the information, and then you have to figure out what's most important. That's really hard to figure this out. So if you have practice doing this, you do this every day, every week, you get really good at it. So communication, collaboration, critical thinking, and the 4th one is creativity. Creativity is something you have to practice. So they make a lot of mistakes. That's fine, I don't care, just redo it. Redo whatever it is. But your creative mistakes, some of them are totally wacky, but it turns out that they were really good ideas. Let's give kids some freedom. Let's trust them. Give them some control of what they're learning. Don't tell them what to do all the time. Respect them. Respect their intelligence. Swear to God, they're really smart. Even the ones that you don't think are smart, they're smarter than you think. I trust my students. I believe that they know what they're doing. Education today is dramatically different, but the school systems haven't changed. They completely disregard the fact that most of us are learning on our phones. They've been using those electronic devices for a long time. Let's give them an opportunity to be creative and to use the information that they know in creative ways. That doesn't mean I think about getting rid of the lecture-based model. My theory is 80% of the curriculum can be lecture-based, the old system, 80%. We just need to change it for 20% time.
Well, why not push it further?
Because the system is so entrenched in the way it's been handed down for generations, it's very hard to change it. And so I want to work with the system as it is. It can be a gradual shift. Change is very hard for people. Change is very hard for cultures. Change is hard for everybody. We all talk about change, but no one really wants to do it.
Okay, guys, I would like you to tell me, please, what are then the 4 competences she highlights? I think some people are raising their hands.
Mario Vargas.
Hi, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. If I put my attention in the previously video, I may list 4 competitions. I'll begin by the letter C: communications, collaboration, critical thinking, and creativity.
Very good. Those are the 4 skills she highlights in the video.
Okay.
What about this? What about the second one? Is everything we find online credible nowadays or not?
Yes, I think that all those are online credible nowadays, and almost one more than another. For example, creativity and critical thinking are behaviors, but the new advantage or new needed for the humanity, like TI or another topics.
Very good. Yes, guys, remember that if you want, you can speak, or if you just want to leave the comment, we can also read it later. Anybody else would like to help us? Yes.
Aura. And Eliana also. Aura.
What do you think about the video? Do you agree or not?
Excuse me, but I want to give my opinion about the second point. Is everything fine online credible nowadays? I don't think so. I don't. I think that we need a critical thinking to analyze every content in online. Okay. And to share with the others to analyze everything, because not all things are possible. Okay. And there are many fantastic, no,
surreal.
Excuse me.
What do you want to surreal?
Irreal. Okay, how do you say?
Yeah, but what do you want to say? Yeah, surreal could be?
Irreal.
Yes, surreal.
Okay, that's why I want a synonym. Okay. And it's my opinion.
Okay.
Okay, and then Eliana. Eliana Ocampo.
Yes.
Okay, sorry, Alexander.
Eliana, would you like to help us with the last one? What do you think about the video, and if you agree or not?
I agree with the video in many ways. I agree about leaving children to be free, leaving people to be free, and trust them that they are intelligent to solve problems and to get decisions, and they can be creative in many ways. And because we are killing creativity in home and in the schools and university. That is very bad. And I believe the 4 pillars she was mentioning about communication, collaboration, critical thinking are very important to manage in school, but also in the house, in family is very important. So I completely agree about that.
Very good. Thank you very much. I think one last person could be. I think I see Pedro. You could tell me, Teacher Doris?
Pedro Amaya, yes.
Okay.
Yes, hi. Well, I think that was a very interesting video because I agree with it. I think we all can be related to the past elections in the United States with all the scandal of Cambridge Analytica that flooded Facebook with fake news. So the people who would vote based on fake news. So I think it's very important to empower the critical thinking, and that is evident that in the social networks, not everything is credible, and you have to digest properly the information that is given to you, so you can take an informed decision in every aspect of your life. And it's very important when it comes to an electoral decision.
Very good. Thank you very much, Pedro. Yes, I think we all agree with that. We all agree with the fact that these 4 competencies are really important nowadays, especially in our lives when it comes to education and also at home. They are really important to foster at home. I also wanted to show you and tell you that there are a lot of intercultural competencies to take into account. You can see on the right side of the screen a list of different intercultural competencies that we could talk about: valuing diversity, thinking critically, learning to learn, problem solving, cooperation, caring for others, working in a team, decision making, and communication. There are a lot. So if you are interested in the topic, you're going to find a lot of information about it. But for today, I would like to focus on these 6 you see on the screen in green, because I thought that they were the ones that could foster a nice conversation today. So we are going to start with the first one, which is self-awareness. And I would like to go to this one. Self-awareness, meaning understanding your own culture and identity first. It's important, guys, before getting to appreciate another culture, to evaluate yourself, to be self-aware of the identity you have, the culture you have, your background, how this background shapes you. It's really important, and I'm going to do an exercise with you that I think is really nice. I hope you're going to agree, which is this one. We have, guys, that culture could be like this iceberg you see on the screen. There are the visible components of culture, like the tip of the iceberg, which will be what kind of food people like in your culture, what kind of music do they like, what kind of greetings they do, what kind of the way they dress. This will be the tip of the iceberg, the visible part, but there is also the invisible part of the culture, which are the values and beliefs, beauty, time, gender role, health, old and young, people, relationships, and others. And the activity I would like to do, guys, is the following. I want you to think about your own culture and try, please, we're going to take maybe 5 minutes, 6 minutes, so you can think about it. You can think in your culture, what are the visible components and what are the invisible components? And how, I wish you could reflect on how these components have shaped you throughout your life. Okay, so I'm just going to give 5, 6 minutes for you to think about it. And after 6 minutes, we are going to talk about it, okay? So I'm just going to give these 5 minutes, 6.
Llama ya. No sé qué pasa.
There's a microphone open.
Vicente, yeah. I'm also going to write down on the chat the idea so everybody knows. You can have their Okay, guys, do you think that was enough? Or maybe you need one more minute? What do you say?
I think it's enough.
Okay. Then who would like to share with us your comments? Who would like to talk about his or her future culture, his or her culture, and tell us what are the visible components you noticed and what are the invisible ones? And also, how do you think these shape you as you are today?
Aura is raising her hand, and there's also a comment on the chat from Julia Teortua. I don't know if you can read it or...
Yes. So people from other countries only see the bad of Colombia as violence, but if they do not spread the good like our scientists and artists. Okay, yeah. Anybody else would like to? Yes, Eliana, I think, and then Maria. Is that right, Teacher Doris?
Okay, I am not from Colombia. I am not from Colombia. I was born in Venezuela, but my family is Colombian, so that shaped me in many ways. Mostly from Medellin and the nearby. And for example, the variety of the fruits and vegetables are incredible here. The way that we use we wear our clothing is so light and colorful. People is very smiley all the time, and we are very friendly. We are a warm kind of people that is very complicated to find in other ways, in other sides of the world, right? But for example, in the inner part of in the invisible components of the iceberg, I see that we have many, it's like a mixture of ages. We don't have very different ages in our culture. We have a mixed, and that is something good, I believe, because in other countries, for example, there are a lot of old people and not very young, and that is kind of problem. So we don't have that in my closer society. Our values are very deep in religion, but we have a lot of stereotypes about beauty. In Medellin, we have like only a stereotype for women, and we can see all women very similar from each other. And we have, for example, a lot of sexism. Male is supposed to be the one that is ordering all the time. But in Medellin, for example, in Antioquia in general, it's not like that, because women are the one in power in home. So this has shaped me in different ways. For example, for me, it's difficult to live in the North countries, like, I don't know, Iceland, Finland, or Sweden, because they are completely different. And for me, it's difficult to be without the sun and the heat that we have in Medellin. So, for example, other thing is that we like to touch a lot. In other countries, they don't touch at all. That's difficult for me. So I think it's very deep in my roots, the way I live in Medellin.
Very nice to know that. Thank you for sharing, Eliana. Also, I wanted to say here, where it says old and young people relationships also refers to in some cultures, young people respect old people. In other cultures, not so, or they don't care that much. So I just wanted to make that remark also. Who else?
Maria Fernanda.
Hello, everyone. I think in two invisible components of my culture. I'm from Medellin, but I live in Spain, and I think the happiness of Colombia is unique. And for example, for me, it's very safe in me because I'm very happy, like a Colombian people. And the other is the humility, because I think I'm very low, I'm very I'm without materialistic, or the target of food is very low, or because I think in the person they don't have food in Colombian, or and I don't know, and then poor people. And I think I'm very I don't know, wait.
What do you want to say?
I'm less, bueno, I don't know. I'm sorry.
You can, in Spanish, how would be?
Como menos materialistas, consumistas.
Okay, I'm not that material person. Don't care about the physical things.
Yes, because in the Colombian are mostly humility.
Yes. Okay, thank you very much. And one last person.
Yeah, there's also Aura, who's wants.
Okay, thanks a lot. I agree with many aspects that the classmate expressed. I think that we're happy people. We're happy people, excuse me. Although Colombia is a region of regions, and there is I think that is the main characteristic. I share, I shape it in my, because always I want to dance, I want to sing. And I think that the relationship between old and young people is so different. It's so different that in North countries or European countries. I think that here is more Khalid. Excuse me, is Khalid.
It's warm.
Warm, excuse me. Okay, thanks a lot.
Okay, thank you very much. Yes, indeed. I think we can all agree on that. We are Colombians after all, so very passionate, they say. Let's go on to the next one. In this case, I'm going to pass a little bit faster. I just wanted to let you know that also you could think about your own identity, not just about how the culture shaped you, but what's the result? How is your identity after you realize you come from a family, also from a context? It could be your school, your neighborhood, and then your own country. So all of these, if you want to think about it further, you can take notice of these concepts you see on the screen and think about yourself. You know, what's your language? What's your citizenship? What's your health status? What's your profession? What do you study? Social class, and all of these concepts you see, and you can notice what's about yourself, and that way you can value your own your own competent intercultural aspects, so you can get to know other people from other places and cultures. Now let's go to the next one, and it's motivation and openness. A person before talked about being open when you go to another country. And that's what I selected this motivation and openness, because I think it's really important when it comes to being intercultural, to be open and motivated about getting to know other culture, getting to know other people, to be curious about the knowledge of other places, and also avoid stereotypes. And I have some question here, but before that, I would like to say that some people, and I don't know if maybe you have lived it, maybe you have, maybe you haven't, or maybe one day you will. Some people just, when they go to another country, they have a lot of stereotypes in their minds. A lot of prejudice could be the example. You're going to Germany and they say that in Germany, people are not that nice. Maybe they can be rude or they can be really distant. So you go with a lot of ideas because you have heard other people talking about it. And then you go and you enter in this panic zone. But once you start learning the real situation there, you can start in the learning zone. And finally, when you get used to it, when you get, sorry, somebody has the mic on, yeah. And once you get used to the situation, you get to the comfort zone. But before that, we need to overcome everything that has to do with stereotypes and prejudice. So I have these questions just for you to think. What kind of stereotypes have you heard throughout your lives? Could be about anything. How these stereotypes affect people, because we need to be aware of how these affect people so we can avoid having them sometimes. How do you think you could avoid these kind of stereotypes and think of a situation when you were out of your comfort zone? Could be when getting to know a person from a different culture or background. So will any of you like to answer any of these questions? You can just pick one question and just let us know what do you think. Who would like to tell us?
Aura, are you raising your hand to answer to this?
Excuse me.
Okay.
Excuse me.
Okay, Aura is not raising her hand. Nobody's doing it. Oh, Eliana. Okay.
The repetitive Eliana.
Eliana.
No, I'm practicing. I'm practicing.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, you need to take advantage of this.
Yeah, I used to live in Spain. I was there for 10 years. And the most the biggest impact for me was to know they have so strong stereotypes about Colombian people. For example, when they say that Colombian is only drugs and narcos, that was like a punch in my face, because we have so many other things, good things, bad things as well. But that was a big stereotype. And for example, prostitution, or asking me, oh, you are Colombian, but you are not black. And I said, like, what? Yes, but because all Colombian people is black. Or the forest, the jungle. You live in the jungle because you live in Colombia, so all of Colombia is jungle. Those stereotypes were very shocking. And that put me outside my comfort zone. All of those situations, I think that was a big situation and very long.
Okay, thank you, Eliana. And I think, I think that reflecting on that, like, actually, we don't like being called those things. I mean, we know that we have our problems here, but that doesn't define us, right? So when we reflect on that, we notice that we shouldn't do it either, because sometimes we Colombians have a lot of stereotypes about other countries also. So that's a good exercise, reflecting on what we don't like, so we don't do it to other cultures and people. Very good. Anybody else who like a last person before we go on?
Nobody else.
Okay, then let's go on the next one. So I have this case study, and I would like somebody to help me reading so you can practice your pronunciation. Let me see who could help us. Guys, who could help us reading this case?
Daniel Rodriguez.
Okay.
Juan and Maria have been married for 20 years. They have 2 sons and a daughter. Rosario, 15, Pablo, 14, and Miguel, 8. Their routine is practically the same every week. Maria is an executive and works in an office downtown. Their sons and daughter go to school and one stays at home. The family does not eat lunch together, but they get together for dinner every night. I continue?
Maybe if you want them to continue, Valeria.
Yeah, another
should
person. Mhm.
Yeah, Valeria Marin and then Valentina.
Thank you.
Okay, I'm going to continue. The last few weeks, Rosario has been locking herself in her room. When she comes from school, Juan, as an attentive parent, began to notice this behavior. After a while, he tells Maria that he is concerned about Rosario. Maria tells him that it's probably a teenage thing and that everything is fine. The next day, Juan decides to ask Rosario how she is doing. She tells him that everything is fine and leaves for school.
And then Valentina.
Okay, after a month, the situation remains the same and Juan decides to take Rosario to a psychiatrist because he is convinced that she is depressed. Rosario gets very upset and tells him that he's crazy for coming to that conclusion.
Okay. Before continuing, I would like to know if maybe anybody has any doubt about vocabulary here, or do you all understand what it says? It's clear? The story, the case?
Yes, teacher, is clear.
Very good. So I would like to think about this situation, guys, we just read, and to think about these questions I'm just going to show, which is, do you agree with one's decision and why? What can we consider an assumption in this situation? And can you think of 5 different reasons why Rosario might be locking herself in a room on her way home from school? Who would like to give us her opinion about this? If you agree with what happened there or not?
Liana, are you going to participate? Is it?
Yeah.
Can you put it back? I am going to read
Yes.
back again.
Okay. I'm going to give you all maybe 2-3 minutes so you can read the situation. Please read the situation so you can then comment on the questions. 2 minutes could be. Okay, then I'm going to, if you want, you can, yes, guys, please take a screenshot or a picture of this slide. And then in 10 seconds, I'm going to go to the next one. So you also can take another screenshot or a picture. And then you're going to go on different rooms. So you can talk to each other about the situation. What do you think about it? Because it's really important for you to comment with your peers here also. Okay. So I'm going to the next one. If you want to take the screenshot. And then I'm going to proceed to break you in some rooms.
Or maybe you could put the questions on the chat and then split the groups.
Yeah, yeah. Just give me 1 second. Yeah. Now I'm going to, so we are 34. I'm going to create 7 groups. And that's it. Yeah. So you should accept the invitation so you can go in the small groups and talk to the rest about your opinion regarding this situation.
Yes, they're accepting the invitation little by little.
Uh-huh.
I'm gonna stay here. I'm not going to accept the invitation.
What is that?
Do you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I mean, it was cutting out. I couldn't listen to you before, but now I can.
Oh, okay. So I was telling you that I'm going to stay here.
Yeah, yeah. It's completely okay. I'm going to join some of the groups by now.
Okay. Alexander, if you want, you can pause the recording or, okay, you're ready.
Okay, guys, you should be all coming back.
Mm-hmm.
I saw some of you really motivated talking about the topic in the small groups. That's nice. And I'm just going to share again my screen. Let me go again. And I want to just maybe 2 or 3 of you to tell us what conclusions did you reach in your group, your respective groups. Who would like to tell us? Remember to raise your hand. Who would like to tell us what did you talk about in your small group? What was the conclusion you reached about the situation?
Please raise your hand. Oh, Eliana.
Eliana.
What a surprise. This is my... No. We were talking about that the first step that Juan has to take is speaking to Rosario, not taking her to the psychiatrist, because that is the last option a family has to take. But it is kind of tricky because I am a psychologist, so I was playing with a little advantage. And we were speaking about what were the possibilities for Rosario to stay locked in her bedroom, which is very big. It could be that she is sad because of something, or she needs privacy to speak to someone, or she just wants to be by herself, or she's having some issues like feeling disappointed or not accepted by others, or many things that in the teenage stage can happen. So the conclusion was that we were not agree with Juan. We didn't agree with Juan. We just tried to do something first, like talking.
Very good. Thank you very much, Eliana. Again, thank you.
There's Rudy also.
Okay.
Same like Eliana said, it's hard to agree or disagree with that because we don't have a lot of information here. You know, we are only supposing some things, you know, making assumptions over something that we don't know, because she only is going to her room and that's it. We don't know anything else, and maybe her parents are worried about that because they know her better, and you know, it's not the usual routine that she has, but actually we don't know anything here. We are only making assumptions, and that's it.
Exactly. Thank you very much, Roddy. Indeed, guys, that was what I wanted to show you, which is one of the competencies we're going to talk here also, is the assertive communication, or yes, assertive communication, which I think lacked in this case. The parent, her father was just imagining what happened, and he just took the first action. He didn't talk at all as he should have with her. And that's why I would say, this is going to help us to highlight one of the most important intercultural competencies we have here, which is the assertive communication. And also, I want to go with this, which is appreciating diversity, cultural understanding. And I would like just to know, what do you think about what kind of diversities do you normally see around yourself? Could be in your neighborhood, in your community, in your building. What kind of diversity can you identify? And according to that, just let's go to this test we have here. I'm going to put it bigger. And this is like a small poem. I would like somebody to help me reading it. The one in the left side that I start with, we could learn. Who could help us with it?
Juan Felipe Navas. Juan Felipe Navas.
Thank you, Juan. Thank you.
Good afternoon. Crayons. We could learn a lot from crayons. Some are sharp, some are pretty, some are dull, Some have weird names and are all different colors, but they are all have to live in the same box.
So it's a really short poem, but it has such a strong message. And I would like you guys to focus also on the questions we have on the right part, which says, how are people similar to a box of crayons? And that question will be for you. According to this little poem, how would you relate that to people? Do you think people could relate in this sense to crayons? Should it be similar or not, according to what you just read? Yes. I think somebody raised their hand.
Rudy.
Yeah, I think, yeah, we are like crayons, like the poem said. You know, we are so different one of each other. And, you know, if we look like the same or something, our personalities make us different, you know, and we have a big variety of people here around, you know, like the pictures here of us attending to this meeting, you know, I think it's the same. It's the same.
Okay, and I would also like to focus on I think somebody else wanted to say something.
Aura wants to
say thanks. I have a good experience about this topic because in the Camino de Santiago, that experience helped us to understand that because converge all people from the world or from all parts of the world. And you have to go walking and from times to times on the track, you find different people, okay? From all parts of, from all places of the world, and you have to share with them and without know their language, okay? Without knowing the language. And you have to share with them with all kind of values, I don't know, quotidian expressions. I don't know how to share with you that experience.
Okay, yes, I would say the same. Like, even if we don't have similarities, we need to appreciate the diversity in the other, because that's something that enriches our life. That's something important. And I would like to go to the last part, which says, what if everyone in the world was exactly the same? If they all looked the same, talked the same, shared the same views, practices, and traditions, what kind of world would it be? Do you think this would be a place you'd want to live? Why or why not? And I would like you to tell me, what do you think about it, guys? What do you think about the situation when everybody is the same? Do you think that will be nice or not? Yes.
We have Rudy and Eliana.
I don't know if Rudy was about to talk. I don't know. That in a world with all the people thinking and doing the same would be very boring, because we need the difference to know where we are, what is our point, our perspective, and to defend this perspective I have. The point is that we need to find the balance between the difference and the tolerance to accept that people is different from myself, and the culture is different from my culture is different from the others. So I think it's not living in a very equal world, but living in a very tolerant world, what we need.
Very good. Thank you, Liana, for that comment.
And we have a new person, Heidi Mosquera. Heidi, go ahead.
Yeah, hello. Well, I agree with Miss Eliana. I think that if we live in a world where everybody thinks the same and do the same and do the same things. It will be chaotic. I think that you need the culture, the different culture, the different thinking, the different perspective of the people. Because if you live in a world where you can't find a different people that reflect you, I think, I don't know if that's said in that way. Refutar. How do you say refutar in English?
Yeah, you could say think different to you, or
okay, that the people refute you, and it will be so boring, so chaotic, and you will get bored so quickly, and that's not the correct for the world. We need different culture, and we need the different people that have thinking that could be good or that could be bad.
Okay, very good. Thank you for that comment also. Yeah, I totally agree. Like a world where everyone is the same wouldn't be like an interesting world. I think diversity is something really cool to have in all aspects, not just regarding to other culture, in every aspect in life. Okay, so let's go now to this, and I would like to pay attention to this quote we see on the screen. Would anybody would like to help me reading it?
Me.
Okay.
One of the most effective ways to learn about yourself is by taking seriously the cultures of others. It forces you to pay attention to those details of life which differentiate them from you.
Okay.
Edward T. Hall.
And I would like somebody to tell me, what do you think about this quote? When you read it, what comes to your mind? What do you interpret?
Rudy.
Yes, Rudy.
Okay, when you start to get immersed in a culture, in another language culture also, I think even if it's your same language, you start to understand or to see the things so different. Even the jokes start to feel different because they take it in another way, and then your head start to say, "Ooh, what's happening here?" You start to see the things different because they see the world so different to you. It's hard to understand. When you are there, you understand the words, but you don't understand the meaning of the things, you know. It's so funny to be there, and that's what you start to change, why you start to think different about the things. I think it's for that. It's the culture, the way they see the world.
Okay, Rudy, thank you. I think Heidi.
Heidi.
And also Eliana.
Yeah, I think that when you understand the different culture, you become empathetic and understand that everybody is different and everybody need respect and everybody have a different thinking or about the thing. Everybody is a different word, like the phrase says. And I think that it is completely true that if you know anybody in a different way, that you can learn something about him, about her, and you can learn how to treat and how to deal with other people, and understand that we are all different and we all need respect.
Okay, and finally, I think Eliana.
I think that when I am with a different person or a different culture, it makes me reflect about myself, about how I am, how I behave, how I walk, how I talk, what are the things that I like the most and I dislike the most, because I am comparing myself to this different person of a culture. So that is a big pretext for myself to be, for me to be in touch with myself. That's what I think.
Okay, thank you. Out of curiosity, because I really like these comments you just gave me, guys. And out of curiosity, I would like to know which places have you, because you talk like you have already experienced really well this situation. Which place did you go before? Which country could be? I would like to know Eliana, Heidi, and Rudy.
Okay, I was born in Venezuela. I have a Colombian family. I was living in Spain for 10 years, and I had the opportunity to travel through England and France. So I get to know a little bit of these different cultures in these countries.
I was living in Australia 2 years. Then I start to learn English there, because, and that made me that feeling of the culture, you know, to start to share with them and to understand the words, but the meaning of the things is so different. What do you think? And I think to stay in the culture is a really nice experience.
Very nice, thank you. And Heidi, finally.
Well, I have not the opportunity to go to other countries, but I have the opportunity to go in other cities here in Colombia, and I know the different ways that the people show herself, her personality, her attitude, and yeah, that's it. And I saw that everybody have their problem. Everybody have different thinking about the politics, the society, the money, and I learned how to deal with everybody has different that have different thinking.
Very good. And
I think that living in Colombia is like living in many different cultures inside the same place.
That's exactly what I was going to say. You don't have to go to another country, because we have so huge diversity here in Colombia that it seems like you are in a lot of places at the same time. So yeah, thank you for that comment, Heidi. Okay, so let's go now with this. You were before talking about this. Somebody mentioned the empathy topic. And guys, and this is something that surprised me these days, because I have always seen the empathy as something positive. But I have noticed that some people, it's looking at this concept lately like something that can be negative in certain contexts. And I would like you to focus in these 4 sentences we have here. I don't know if any of you will help me to read the sentences and then tell me if you will agree or disagree with any of those, because I think that there can be a really nice discussion in this slide. Heidi, are you raising your hand?
No,
okay,
she wasn't.
So could anybody just help us read this? Just read the 4 sentences.
Maybe I could do it just to participate a little bit.
Thank you.
Do you think empathy is a good thing or not? It improves our personal relationships. Empathy is consistent, not always helping, unbiased. It depends on different factors and changes according to it. It motivates charitable giving and encourages pro-social behaviors. Empathizing with an individual can lead us to be unreasonably cruel to others.
So, question. Doesn't it surprise you guys? Doesn't it surprise you? Like, how can empathy lead to being cruel with another person? That seems to be contrary. Do you imagine why why this sentence express that or not? No idea?
No. Eliana is going to say something.
I do. I think that when I am very empathic to, is that the way I pronounce it? Empathic?
Yes, yes.
When I am very empathic to something that is going to destruct something else, I am going to be part of that. For example, when I am part of the Barras Bravas, for example, I don't know, I'm going to say something in the air. With Las Barras Bravas, I can destroy something else because I am empathizing with this kind of topic. Or when I am going to get associate with some religious aspect, I can be very cruel to others because I am going to be very empathic to this kind of groups. This is the way I understand that.
Yes, and that's it. I mean, that's the way I also understand it. And I had another example. For instance, somebody did something bad in society, and then people empathize with the victim, and then they want to do bad things to the perpetrator, for instance. So there were some articles that were saying, okay, the bad thing about empathy is that it leads you sometimes in some situations to be cruel because of the way you feel about the pain of other person. Also, in the second case, empathy is inconsistent, not always helping, and biased, not always helping. I don't know if you have heard the metro when it says like, don't help homeless people because then you are not helping, but you are just doing the contrary of what you want to do. Have you heard that before? And that's in a way empathy. You are empathizing with the person, but in a long term, they say that you could be doing the contrary to what you want to do, right? So yeah, I just wanted to bring this because it was when I said that, when I showed this, I saw that some of you were like, what? But that was my expression at the beginning also, like how can empathy be thought like that? And also the good thing. Question, how would you think that empathy will be a good thing in society then, if we already know these other aspects? In which cases could empathy be a good thing? What do you think? I think,
Eliana?
Yeah.
And I left it Bryson, so
yeah.
I don't have to do the effort every time. I think it's very good. It's very good when we are going to help somebody, but not only for one moment, but for that person to improve something. For example, if I am going to help somebody, some homeless on the street, that is going to help only once. But if I help with counseling or, I don't know, teaching something to another person, that is going to improve the lifestyle or the resources that people is going to acquire for themselves. So I think this is one way to put empathy in a good way.
Yeah, that's true. And that's what I wanted to highlight. Like, just take empathy in the good way, in the sense that it can help you to put yourself in the, as we say, in the shoes of other, to see with the other's eyes, so you can help and maybe create an impact, a positive impact in the world through your actions. Okay. And let's go now with, let me see. We were talking about assertive communication before, with the case of this father who didn't do the best thing he should have regarding his daughter. And we have this assertive communication here. Let's talk about active listening. What is active listening and what is not? Guys, there is something that sometimes when we're listening, we tend to do different things. And I'm going to go to some of these, which you are listening and at the same time you want to give advice. Like, okay, why don't you do this and this and this, and the other person cannot finish what they want to say. Or also you start competing to show you also suffer the same, you have been through the same, you don't let the other person finish the thought, right? Also, you close the conversation, which is not nice either. Like, hey, I gotta go. I don't have time to listen to you, whatever. And I just want, as I am talking about this, I just want to know later, and you tell me if you have ever done something like it. Okay. Seem to interrogate. This is my case. I am the one who, when somebody is talking to me, I will start like, and where, and why, and how was that? And, you know, and they cannot speak freely. Also, trying to convince the other person of your point of view. You try to tell them how are your view for the things, your point of view, and also trying too hard to show solidarity. Sometimes when you want to try to show solidarity really hard, that also can not allow the other person to freely speak. So what do they recommend in these cases? Just let the other person speak. Try, as it said in the bottom of the screen, try to see the emotion of the person, the intonation, the emphasis they do on the things they say, and also the corporal language, the gestures they do when they speak. So I would like to ask you, have you ever done any of these things they mentioned here when you are listening to another person speaking to you, trying to tell you something, or not? Maybe, I don't know if somebody would like to talk about this. Let me see.
No, there's nobody raising his hand.
And why
Eliana?
Many times. I think many times we do that because that is just like an impulse. We don't want people suffering. That is in our instincts. So we try to solve the problems of others, but as I am a psychologist and I practice the clinic part of psychology, I had to learn how to listen, and that is just a custom I had to do, a habit I created in my life. So now I don't only use it in the psychology, in the psychologist role, but I have to use it as a mother, as a friend, as a person in general. But I committed those mistakes many times during a long time in my life. Now I don't do it, but I used to.
Okay, yeah, precisely because you are now a professional, you know how to listen very well other people. That's nice. Sebastian, I think, yeah. Yes.
About the first one, like giving advice, there's something like, I don't know, like I noticed not so much time before, and it's we constantly like tend to giving advice. And I was talking to someone and I say like, but if, I mean, there's some cases that the people ask for advice. So how can I notice, or like, yeah, how can I really know what the people need to like I do in that conversation? So he told me like, just ask. And I say like, okay, that's that's so, I mean, like direct, and it's effective because, yeah, I mean, the people when are talking, I think the person already know how or what they need to like, or what they ask for another person. So I think it's really simple, and just ask, and in that way you can notice, or I mean, you can try to help the other people.
Okay, very nice. Thank you, Sebas. Okay, guys, let's go to the last intercultural competence I have for today. I don't know. I don't think we have time. I'm going to go to the last one. But before, I wanted to tell you this in just 2 minutes or 1 minute probably. Guys, if you are interested in these kind of topics, this kind of, in general topics, you can go to Academia Glocal from Universidad de Antioquia. This is an initiative from the Office of International Affairs where they actually focus on these kind of topics. They have different lectures and programs and initiatives and courses you can take advantage of if you are interested. And I'm just going to read. Academia Glocal is an initiative of the International Affairs Office, DRI based economy in Spanish, from the Universidad de Antioquia, that was created to articulate, organize, and promote various experiences and activities aimed at cultivating thinking, generating awareness, and developing skills around intercultural and global citizenship in students, teachers, and researchers and administrative staff of the university. Also, a lot of those lectures are for the public in general. So you don't have to be from Universidad de Antioquia to take advantage of it. And there is the email in case you are interested at any time, you have the email already, okay? Let's go now to the last intercultural competence, as I said, which is collaborative skills. And guys, I want to talk about this, but at the same time, I want us to do an exercise that has to do with collaborative skills. So we are going to, is this going to be a new case, but it's like a more particular one. And we are going to be in two big groups, probably, or three. And what I want you to do is to try to collaborate among your group. You're going to take into account the things you see on the screen. You're going to make sure everyone understood the task you're going to do. Make sure everyone has the same opportunity to participate and give their opinions. Use the active listening technique. Value others' ideas and opinions. Place group goals above the personal satisfaction and recognition. And also when you don't agree, let them know, but respectfully, okay? So the idea is that you are going to read in group this situation. You're going to imagine yourself in this situation, and then you're going to try to find a solution in group. And what I would like you to do is to, yes, work collaborative, so you can not just understand the term, but also apply it at the same time, okay? So I'm just going to give you this. You can just take a screenshot if it's okay. You're going to be in two big groups, so if one person can share the screen then later, it will be great. And I'm going to proceed to breakout rooms. It's going to be 10 minutes. So you have time to read and then discuss, and then maybe give a solution, at least one solution to the situation, okay? So let's go. I'm going to, let me see, actions. Two groups. And that's it. Very good. So please accept and then work collaboratively. Okay, guys. First of all, I know this was an extreme case. I just wanted to see how were you going to think this through. That's why it was important for you to work in groups to see what was the point of view of the other. And I wanted you to pay attention to the two facts, and it says that these were rumors, you know? It wasn't true, it was a rumor going around the town. We were just talking about prejudice, about stereotypes. And before that, you were the volunteers assigned to this family specifically. So you are the ones who know the family, actually, because they came to you and they were assigned to you. So after knowing that, I would like to know what would you do in this case? Let's go to the questions. I would like to know what conclusions did you reach? I'm really interested in knowing. Let me see. Yes. So who wants to start? What is your opinion regarding the situation before we go on to the next one? Anybody?
Tatiana.
Tatiana?
Teacher, in our case, we discussed about it. The situation is very scary, of course, but we need to stay in calm and to know that it's just a rumor, and we need to identify if there is enough evidence to prove that that situation. Maybe if they try to talk with, if it is necessary, try to talk with authorities or with the family, depends on the circumstances.
Okay. What about the kind of actions you as a group will have taken in this case? I would like to listen also to the other group.
First of all, to try to identify if the information is true, but and maybe it's not by ourselves, because maybe we don't have the enough or correct ways to identify that. Maybe in some case we need to the help of authority if the information is really obtained from true sources, because it is an international issue.
The next question is, to whom would you turn, guys? To whom would you turn, guys? Would you go to the police, to the family, to the people who are in the riot? Where would you go? To whom would you turn? And I see Radi and Eliana smiling, so if any of you wants to say something.
No, that's not fair, because it's the only one you were watching.
Okay.
In my group, we were very shocked with the story, and it's not very outside the reality, because this happens.
Yes.
And we are very focused that we are only volunteers, and we need to go to the authorities. We don't know if the police or the international affairs, but we need to go to somebody else to take care of this, because by ourselves, the first thing we are not going to do is to talk to the family about the rumors, because we don't know if it's true. So we are not going to tell them. But we thought that asking for some protection for the family is going to be correct, because they are in jeopardy. The security of the family is in jeopardy because of the people is going to come and hurt them. No, we don't know how, but they are in danger. Okay. So we are going to go to some place, but we are going to stay with the family. Not very close, just in case the bomb is real. Okay. But we are going to continue with our volunteer help.
Okay, very nice. I would like to listen now, Rodi's group, because I think this was the other group. What would you say to both the family and the group of people in the village who want to drag them out? What would you say, guys? Would you say something? Would you say nothing and just go to the police or to international affairs, as Eliana was saying?
We didn't arrive to that question because
you didn't.
The the conversation was so hot before.
Okay. Okay. Then, guys, before we leave, because it's almost 2, did you apply the collaborative steps we saw before in this activity? Like making sure everybody talked, and like this one, make sure everyone understood the task, make sure everyone else had the opportunity to participate. Because sometimes people don't participate, but you at least ask, hey, do you want to participate? And that will imply you are able to create this environment for collaborative working. Okay, guys, I think it's time. I'm really glad that you were till the end of this session, and I hope you're going to have a great day. In case you are interested, we will see each other again in 1 month. I'm happy to have you here today. Happy to hear your opinions. I just learned a lot from your experiences and what you were telling. Thank you for that. And that's it. I hope you're going to have a great week.
Thank you so much. Thank you for the time.
Okay.
Bye.
Have a good day. Thank you.
Thank you, teacher.
Bye-bye. Okay.